Emily the Emerald Engine. Story 2. Emily and the Flower Trucks. Based on Emily's New Route by James Mason. One morning, the Fat Controller came to the sheds to speak to Emily. "Emily, I'd like you to pull the flower train today." Emily was a bit concerned. The flower train contained trucks. Emily had never pulled trucks before, but she didn't want to let the Fat Controller down. "Yes, sir," she smiled, and she puffed away to get some water. James was already at the water tower. He wasn't in a very good mood. "What's the matter with you, James?" asked Emily cheekily. "Oh, I've got to go up to Alsborough today," James grunted. "What's wrong with Alsborough?" "Nothing's really wrong with the place," explained James. "It's the line going there. Poorly maintained it is. I bet you the tracks there are waiting to fall apart. Then there's the recent rumours flying around about what's living in the water." Emily knew how James felt. No engine likes travelling on worn old rails. What she didn't know about were the rumours. She'd only been working on Soda for about a week after all. "So what's in the water?" she asked. "No one knows," said James. "Black figures can be seen moving about in the sea, then they disappear. Some speculate it's some sort of sea monster." "Don't be silly," snorted Emily. "Sea monsters aren't real." "Yeah, well, guess I'm about to find out." And James sulked away. Emily rolled her eyes. She thought James was being very silly, but on the safe side, she was glad she wasn't going up to Alsborough, just in case. At the flour mill, the trucks were being loaded up. Emily backed down onto them and steamed away. She puffed across the countryside, back to the big station. She was rather pleased with herself. The trucks were behaving surprisingly well, but that didn't last long. "Hold back! Hold back!" they screeched out of nowhere. Emily pulled as hard as she could, but the troublesome trucks made her go very slowly. Emily was late delivering the flour, and some of the bakeries didn't even have time to make any bread. The Fat Controller was very cross. "This means I won't have any toast or muffins for breakfast," he said to Emily that night. The engines looked at each other. That was why he was upset? "Don't worry, sir. I'll get the flour to the station on time tomorrow," puffed Emily. "Good." And the Fat Controller walked away, muttering to himself, "What will I eat tomorrow morning, yow?" Unfortunately for Emily, the next morning, the troublesome trucks tricked her again. "Come on, Emily," called the front truck. "You're late." Off we go," the rest chuckled. "Mustn't be late, mustn't be late." Emily was very surprised and confused, but she didn't want to upset the Fat Controller again, so she quickly hurried away before the guard even had time to blow the whistle. But half the trucks weren't even coupled up, and they were left behind, laughing and giggling to themselves. When Emily arrived at the big station, she was surprised to see the station master shaking his head. "You've only brought half the flour," he said in a snarky tone. "Oh no!" cried Emily. "Did your guard even blow his whistle? Or wave his flag?" demanded the station master. "Well, the truck said that we were late, sir," said the driver. The station master scoffed. "You're going to listen to what planks of wood have to say?" Emily and her crew thought it better not to say anything. So Emily had to go back for the rest of the trucks. She was in a hurry, so she didn't bother running around in front. Instead, she pushed them up the line. "It's only a few wagons," said her driver. "It shouldn't hurt." But the trucks were more troublesome than ever. "Emily the late engine, Emily the late engine," they sang. At this point, Emily lost her temper, so she biffed into the trucks. She had heard that a good bump makes the trucks behave. But Emily did it very hard. So hard, in fact, the brake van in front bounced right off the rails and rolled along the sleepers. "Oh no!" cried the brake van as he dragged the rest of the train off the tracks with him and splashed into a nearby stream. Flour flew everywhere. Emily and her crew were covered. They knew the Fat Controller would be cross. And they were right. "Emily, you have caused confusion and delay," was what he had to say that night. "I thought an engine at your age would understand how to manage their temper." "Oh no, sir, I'm sorry," apologised Emily. She felt very embarrassed. "I'm just not used to trucks. I've only ever pulled coaches." The Fat Controller thought, "In that case, you can take a goods train to Alsborough with James tomorrow." "What?" snorted James. "That way you can learn all about trucks." Emily was very upset. James was furious. "Wait until you've tried it," smiled Edward. "The Oldsborough run is quite nice." "I don't think so," moaned Emily. "Bah! I hope that monster eats you up," James muttered.